Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about some of the holiday reads I can't wait for in 2023. So despite the fact that I do not celebrate Christmas in any religious sense, I love the secular version of this holiday. It is absolutely my favorite time of year. I love how nice people are. I love shopping for gifts. I love getting gifts. I just love the Christmas movies and music and everything about it. But especially I love the holiday books. And I have made a list of the top books that I am excited for. Once it becomes like October, I enter my romance era and just totally shift to reading mainly Christmas romances. I will try to throw some other stuff in there too. I do have a lot of books I want to read before the end of the year, but those are definitely far more common than I read romance the rest of the year. So I am so excited. I hope you are too. So let's get started. So the first book I want to talk about is called The Christmas Orphans Club by Becca Freeman. This book will be out on September 26th. So this is one that I'm really excited for because the premise is very similar to one of my favorite Christmas movies, The Night Before. It's definitely one that not as many people have seen. It's kind of one of these raunchy comedies, Seth Rogen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's so great. I love it. But let me just tell you about the premise of this and maybe you'll watch the movie too. Hannah and Finn have spent every Christmas together since college. Neither has anywhere else to go. Hannah's parents died, and Finn's disowned him when he came out. Their tradition of offbeat holiday adventures only grows more outrageous with time. When the pair starts their adult lives in New York City, they add stylish Priya and mysterious Theo to the group, solidifying a found family and sense of belonging they've always craved. But now when Finn announces a move to LA, this Christmas may be their last. Hannah is terrified of losing the family she's built for herself, even as her boyfriend nudges her toward commitment. Meanwhile, Finn struggles with the things he's about to leave behind, namely his unexpressed feelings for Theo. Does growing up mean growing apart? This Christmas, the changes these friends fear may be exactly what they need. So that sounds really, mature for being a kind of like Christmassy book with a cartoon cover. You know what I mean. Even if it's not like fully a romance, I guess. A kind of like lighthearted sort of friendship love book. Anyways, that one is one that I'm really looking forward to reading. I think I'm gonna get it and save it for closer to Christmas, but definitely looking forward to it. The next one is also coming out on September 26th, and that is Faking Christmas by Carrie Winfrey. This book's really cute and kind of silly, but it seems like it's gonna have some like fun hijinks. So it follows a woman who works as a social media manager for a Ohio-based tourism magazine and website. And she essentially lied to her boss. It's a little white lie, and said that she owned a farm in like rural Ohio, but she does not. Her twin sister does. And also leads him to believe that he's married. I'm guessing she's like a work from home sort of social media manager because I feel like maybe lying about I don't know, both of those seem like they would be hard lies to keep up. The boss basically invites himself to their house for Christmas dinner, and so Laurel, the main character, is having to put on this show and lie about it with her sister's help. Additionally, at Christmas dinner is a man that was in her twin sister's wedding and she doesn't get along with, but is going to pretend to be her fake husband. And then, what do you know? They get trapped there in a snowstorm and who knows what will happen. So that seems cute and funny. I know this author has put out a few other books. I think her most popular one is Waiting for Tom Hanks and Not Like in the Movies. So I am looking forward to this. I actually haven't read a book by this author, but the premise sounds cute and I'm looking forward to it. Another one coming out on September 26th is The Christmas Wager by Holly Cassidy. I actually have already read this book and I just absolutely raved about it. If you watched my wrap up from the first half of August, I really loved this. It was so cute. This one follows a woman named Bella who is a real estate developer in California, and she is originally from a small town in Canada, and she's not a fan of Christmas because her dad left her and her mom around Christmas time, so she just has a lot of negative memories associated with that time of year. So she gets a task from her boss to go to a little town called Maple Falls, Colorado, and get the paper signed for this old Christmas shop that is being bought by them. And of course, you know, they're the big bad company from LA gonna like tear it down and lose all the charm. And she and the grandson of the man she's buying the place from don't hit it off. They start off on a really terrible foot because he's like, I can't believe you're offering my grandfather so little for his like business that has been his lifeline in his family for years and years and years. And so they end up making a wager. They have to compete in the town's like holiday games. And if he wins, then she has to buy the property for $100,000 over what they had initially talked about. And if she wins, then they will purchase it for the very like bottom offer that was ever on the table, I guess. And it's cute. I really thought it was fun. I loved this like hate to love romance, but I talked about this in the other video I spoke about this book in, but I love it when there's a hate to love romance and they actually like hate each other. I hate when they're just like don't have a reason to hate each other. It's just very phony to me. And I don't like it when all of a sudden are like, oh, you're hot. I don't hate you anymore. I just noticed. Like, I don't know. If I really don't like somebody off the bat, it's gonna take me a little while to acknowledge that they are good looking. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But they do kind of, it's just not in the forefront of the plot. When they first meet, they are just bickering at each other. There's none of those like, his big brown eyes could have made me melt, but I was too angry, whatever. None of that. They're just mad at each other. So I thought this was really fun. And if you are a hate to love romance type girly, you should definitely pick this one up. The next one is Wrapped with a Bow by Lily Vale. I actually haven't heard much about this. I just found it when I was looking at different like lists of Christmas books coming out. So I am interested in this one. It sounds like a pretty different premise, and I will read the synopsis and you'll got more to say after that. As a successful film liaison, Alicia Rowe has her heart set on one thing and one thing only, putting her hometown back on the map. So when she gets the chance to secure a sequel to Sleigh Bells, she's willing to do whatever it takes to make sure everything goes smoothly. Unfortunately, that includes claiming to have already secured permission to film at the historic Christmas house, permission she was very much denied by the gorgeous new owner. Vess Hollins is only back in Piney Peaks long enough to sell the house he inherited from his great-aunt. The holidays have always been tough for Vess, and it's not any easier when he's distracted by memories of a Christmas long, long ago and the undeniable charm of his neighbor, Alicia. Ready to return home to New York as quickly as possible, he has no plans to put down roots or fall in love, even if Alicia unravels his hesitations like a bad Christmas sweater. There's no question the two are opposites in every way. Vess is unquestionably frosty. Alicia is brimming with warmth. He doesn't do commitment. She never runs from a challenge. But as the two grow closer, they quickly realize that the growing spark between them may be just what the season calls for. So that's cute. The biggest thing, I just love that it's like an historic Christmas house, like A Christmas Story and the house in Cleveland. It's just one of those fun things that reminded me of that. It sounds really cute. I love like an opposites attract kind of romance, so we will see how that one is. And again, it comes out on September 26th. Next is Bright Lights, Big Christmas by Mary Kay Andrews. This is also coming out on September 26th. I swear that's the last one with that date. So she wrote a Christmas novella a few years back called The Santa Suit that was not my favorite, but I have enjoyed her books in the past, so I am thinking that that might have just been a fluke and I will like this one more. At worst, it's Christmas, so it can't be that bad, right? So this one is about a woman named Carrie who runs her family's Christmas tree farm in North Carolina. At some point, I guess in like November, she goes up to New York City with her brother and they sell Christmas trees like on some corner. Feels a little bit weird because, like, wouldn't they just get those trees from, like, New York? But I don't know. I'm not a Christmas tree seller, so I don't know these things. But she ends up kind of making, like, a found family with the people around the neighborhood that she is selling the trees. And at some point, they notice that an elderly neighbor has gone missing. And I guess Carrie is going to use her country knowledge with her New Yorker spirit to find him. And of course, there is a single dad who is along for the ride, is part of the group of found family in the neighborhood. So I'm sure that is where the romance comes in. But it sounds cute enough. I mean, this is also a novella, so it should not take too long to read if it does happen to be less than stellar, but like, I think it sounds cute. I don't know. The next book is Christmas Presents by Lisa Unger. This comes out October 24th. Now, this one is not a romance, so this is the one outlier on this list. This is like a Christmas thriller, which is pretty exciting, and I'll definitely be looking forward to reading. So this one follows a woman named Madeline who owns a bookstore, and one day this man that is a true crime podcaster comes into her shop and starts asking her questions about events that happened that she does not want to talk about. Namely, that this man named Evan Handy had murdered her best friend and like attacked her. She is his only surviving victim. And there's also a couple other disappearances he's associated with. So, you know, she just is not interested in talking to him about any of that. He wants to revisit this because in the time that the supposed killer had been in prison, 3 more girls have gone missing with very similar circumstances. And so, you know, it's like, are these murders connected? Or I should say, are these disappearances connected? Or is it just a coincidence that this keeps happening in this small town? So with Christmas approaching and a creepy blizzard type setting, they team up to try to solve the case once and for all. This sounds fun. I haven't read a Lisa Unger book, but I know she is quite a popular thriller author. And I mean, I am coming to be a pretty big thriller reader, and that combined with Christmas, like, sign me up. Next is maybe the one that I'm looking forward to most on this list, and that is Snowed In by Catherine Walsh. This comes out on November 1st. So I read a book by this author last Christmas called Holiday Romance. Nice and to the point title. It was such a surprise delight. It was like 99 cents on the Kindle store, and I could not believe how much fun I had. I like laughed out loud. It was so sweet, so funny, and just like realistic in a rom-com way. I adored it. So I have super high hopes for this one. You should definitely check out that one too. It's not in this video because it's not coming out this year, but Holiday Romance by Catherine Walsh, definitely recommend that one. So let me tell you about this one. Megan is dreading going home for the holidays. She's the village pariah, the she-devil who left local golden boy Isaac at the altar 4 years ago and ran away to the big city. She could really do without the drama, particularly as he's engaged again and she's just been dumped for the 4th time this year. Christian's fed up of being on his own every Christmas. He doesn't mind being alone, but he hates his family's sad eyes and soft tones as they sit around coupled up. Because he's actually totally fine. So when Megan literally bumps into Christian in a Dublin pub, they come up with a pact to see them through the holiday season. They're going to be the very best fake dates for each other ever. Rules are drawn up, a contract is signed on a wine-stained napkin. They will sit through each other's family gatherings and be outrageously in love until freed from their annual obligations. After all, it's only for a few weeks. But with everyone home for the holidays, 2 big families to deal with alongside old friends, old flames, and old feelings, things are bound to get messy. And when a snowed-in cabin and a little Christmas magic are added to the mix, anything could happen. This synopsis honestly could say, like, nothing at all, and I would be, like, excited to read this book. So definitely one I'm looking forward to. And the last one on this list is A December to Remember by Jenny Bayliss. This comes out on November 9th. So first of all, I keep laughing at this title because I think of, like, the December to Remember car sales event commercials. I feel like they're always on. Anyways, it's stupid, but I had to point that out. So this one is, I'm actually currently reading. I got an ARC from NetGalley, and I'm just about like 15% in, so pretty early on in the book. But I will say it doesn't have Christmassy vibes yet, but I have high hopes. So let me read you the synopsis. Wildly different half-sisters Maggie, Simone, and Star have hardly seen one another since their sprightly summers at Rowan Thorpe, their eccentric father Augustus's home. Known for his bustling approach to the knick-knack shop he ran, Augustus was loved by all and known by none, not even his daughters. Now, years later, the three estranged women are called upon for the reading of Augustus's will and quickly realize he's orchestrated a series of hoops through which they must jump to unlock their inheritance. The last thing any of them want to do. But Maggie and Star desperately need the money, and who would Simone be to resist? Through hilarious goose chases, small-town mishaps, and one heartwarming winter solstice celebration, love is in the air, if only the three sisters can let themselves grasp it. It sounds like a sweet book. I read a book a couple years ago by this author called The 12 Dates of Christmas, and I thought it was super fun and super cute. So I'm hoping that this one has enough of the Christmas vibe I'm looking for, but it is a cute book so far. I'm literally not even they haven't even read the will yet. They just got like letters about it. So it's very, very early days for me in this book, but I am hoping that I continue to enjoy it and it becomes one I can recommend to you once I'm done. So there you go. There are 8 of the holiday books I am most excited for. I even put my little snowflake earrings on for this video in case you didn't notice. I am just so excited for the fall to start and then we can get into the Christmas time stuff. I am so grateful for you watching this video. I appreciate you so much. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.